Hi, I am the artist Anime, and
Be like my anime, be like my anime, be like my anime, be like my anime, be like my anime.
hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Rant Show. I'm your host, artist of anime, also known as N7 Karu. First off, I do want to go off by saying I want to apologize to everyone in advance. I know this video is a little late. I know I try to do one of these at least every month. So I know I'm a little behind, so I want to apologize that ahead of time. With that being said, though, let's jump into things, shall we? This time around, I want to talk about one thing in particular, and that is movies. More so, 4 different movies. One of them being, of course, the Mummy franchise. No, I'm not talking about the one that was made in like 1959. I'm talking about the Mummy franchise with Brendan Fraser. I know not a lot of people, but some people out there do not like Brendan Fraser as an actor. Me personally, I do. And I thought the Mummy 1 and 2, Mummy Returns was good. I thought his acting was good. I thought John Hannah's acting was good, who played Evie's brother. I thought Rachel Weisz's acting as Evie was good. I thought, Dwayne Johnson's little cameo in 2 as playing the Scorpion King was pretty good. I thought, everything about the movies, about those 2 movies were good. They were awesome. They were fantastic. Everything was great. The reason I only said 1 and 2 and did not mention 3 is because me personally, I did not like 3. Don't get me wrong, pretty much everything about Mummy 3, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor was good, except for one undeniable fact, and that was the person they got to play Evie for number 3. I do not know why they could not get Rachel Weisz to play Evie. Maybe some of you do out there. If you could tell me below, I'd appreciate it. But they got Maria Bello instead to play Evie for number 3. Now, before I speak about her, I will say this. Everyone's acting in Tomb of the Dragon Emperor was good. Brendan Fraser was phenomenal as usual. And for those who don't know, he is one of my favorite actors. I'm not just saying that because he is my favorite actor. I'm not saying all this just because he is my favorite actor, though. I honestly thought his acting in the Mummy movies was good. His acting in number 3 was good. Jet Li's acting in number 3 was good. John Hannah's acting in number 3 was good. Scripting was good. Everything I thought about that movie was good, except for the person who they got to play Evie for the 3rd, which was Maria Bello. I am sorry. I'm not trying to speak bad about her as an actress, and I'm sure more of the movies she has been in have been good, but she just did a really, and I mean really, horrible job in the Mummy 3, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. She oversold just about everything. What I mean about oversold is more along the lines she overacted everything. I mean, if a freaking boulder fell in the movie, she was like, "Oh my God, Rick, look out!" And I know that's probably a horrible portrayal of how she would act in the movie, but you get my point. She overreacted to everything to the utmost extent. Sorry. I know for everyone out there, there's at least been one movie out there to where a certain person's acting ruined the movie for you, or just a person being in a certain actor being in a movie in general. So some of you might know what I'm talking about. Just her acting in the movie was bad. It was not good, and with her acting alone in the movie, playing Evie is the sole reason why I thought the Mummy 3, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, was not good. It sucked to the utmost for the sole reason of her acting in the movie. In my personal opinion, if for whatever reason they could not get Rachel Weisz to play Evie in number 3, they should have played her off as dead or something else. What I mean by that is, like towards the beginning of the Mummy 3, they should have, Brendan Fraser and the guy who plays his son, some point in the beginning of the movie mentioned about her being dead, whether she, died from a heart attack or just something happened to her or something like that. They should just, played her off and just put her off to the side instead of, getting someone to, like Maria Bello, to play her if they could not got Rachel Weisz. Because, like I said, Maria Bello's acting in the movie was horrible. She overacted everything. Take, your normal actor or actress and, you put them in a movie and the way they act, and then, times that by, 100, and that's how she what I mean by how she overacted everything in the movie. She just, everything she said and everything she did in the movie, it was bad. It was not good. She just was, I'm sorry, she was horrible. And that, with that, like I said, everything else about that movie I thought was good. The actors and actresses in it were good. The scripting, the directing, everything I thought about that movie was good and had so much potential. And then I'm sorry about Maria Bello, who played Evie. She ruined it for me. She really did. Just everything was oversold, overacted with her. It just was bad. And I mean really, really bad. For those of you who've not watched the movie yet, watch it. Most teens will probably know what I'm talking about by the time you're done with the movie. She just oversold everything. And that was the one reason why The Mummy 3, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor was just horrible. It was not good. With that being said, I do want to point out that I do think they should make at least one more Mummy movie, in part to make up for what happened in 3. I think that they should get Brendan Fraser back and all them back and make one more Mummy movie. And this time around, if for some reason, the producers of the movie come around to watching this, please take my advice and what you should have done in 3, do for 4. If you cannot get Rachel Weisz to play Evie again, just play her off as dead. Just mention somewhere at the beginning of the movie she had a heart attack and died or something. Just do not get Maria Bello to play Evie again, is all I ask. Get either Rachel Weisz to play Evie again if somehow you do make, another Mummy movie, or just play her off as dead. All I ask. Just make a 4th Mummy movie to make up for what 3 was, and do not get Maria Bello to play Evie. Pretty much. With that being said, I will move on to the second movie I wanted to talk about, and that is G.I. Joe Retaliation, or just simply called G.I. Joe 2. The reason why I do want to talk about that movie, and one of the reasons why I did have a problem with that movie, is because of the actor I just mentioned a few seconds ago, Dwayne Johnson. Also, some of you might know him as The Rock. Not to discredit The Rock's acting, or his acting skills, or whatever word you want to call it. The thing that I did not, the thing I did not like about him being in the third movie, in G.I. Joe Retaliation, was because, how can I put this? It wasn't that The Rock's acting was bad. It wasn't that he, starting to act like other people, just was horrible at acting. It's just that the guy has been in so many movies lately. Like in the past 3 or 4 years, he's been in so many freaking movies. It's just been bad. It's been not good. It's been annoying. The amount of, how when someone, how can I put this? When someone says something over and over and over again in your ear, and it gets to a point that it starts to get annoying after some time, or something does someone that just it ticks you off. It's kind of like that. Just no offense towards The Rock, it's just that he's been in so many movies lately from the past 3 to 4 years. it's just getting repetitive seeing him in movies to the point where it's just annoying. And I thought of, and it was just that way with him being in G.I. Joe Retaliation. It's just that with him being in that movie, it's just I literally thought, I was like, why is he in another movie? It wasn't, because of his acting skills, which they at first, let's point the stick in a matter of speaking. When Dwayne Johnson first started out, his acting was that good, but he's gotten gooder over the past few years. Toward his acting is at least half decent now. And like I said, it's not to discredit his acting now. It's just him being in so many movies lately, for me personally, has gotten so repetitive. It's starting to get annoying. And that's one of the things that honestly made G.I. Joe Retaliation bad for me. That made me not like it. With that being said, another thing that really annoyed me with G.I. Joe Retaliation was the fact is that they took half the actors and half of what happened in the first movie and they tossed it out the window. And I really hate it when movies in general do that with their sequels. They take half of what happened in the second movie and sometimes half of the actors and they toss them out the window and slap them with new actors and a new story, or they twerk the story around. I hate it when they do that, and it gets annoying. What do I mean with that being happening in G.I. Joe Retaliation? Well, let's think about this. Within the first 15 minutes, sorry, spoiler alert for those of you who haven't seen G.I. Joe Retaliation yet, within the first 15 minutes of the movie, they kill off the main actor who was in G.I. Joe 1. They kill off Channing Tatum, which I thought was a horrible move. If you are going to, if you have a main actor in the first movie and you make a sequel, at least let him be the co-star in the second movie. Do not, in the first 15 minutes, kill the main actor from the first movie off. Now, I understand that from things I've heard, Channing Tatum at the time had other movies he was doing, which is, fine and dandy. What they should have done is just waited until he was done with those movies. Yes, you would probably have to postpone the movie to be released at a late, G.I. Joe Retaliation to be released at a later date because of it. But I think for the most part, most fans out there would have been fine with that. But they should have not, in my opinion, killed off your main actor from the first movie in the second movie in the first 15 minutes of the movie. You shouldn't have. You shouldn't have killed him off in general. Not only that, but they tossed half the story out the window. What I mean by that? Well, let's see. For those of you who have watched the first movie, his friend in the second movie, who is played by Marlon Wayans, they make no mention of him. To the best of my knowledge, they even make no mention of him in the second movie. He's not in the movie. He's not mentioned in the movie. He is just non-existent. Not only that, but they completely play off the part about Cobra being Channing Tatum's, almost his brother-in-law, and, Channing Tatum's girlfriend in the second movie's her brother. Just completely toss that fact about him out of the window in the second movie. Not only that, but like I said, Channing Tatum's girlfriend in the first movie, they make, just like Marlon Wayans, they make no mention of her in the second movie. They just completely toss that out the window too. Half the stuff they did in the first movie and half the actors, they completely tossed out the window. They say, okay, we're not going to use them. Let's make the first movie and slap a whole half of a new storyline to it and half new actors. Now, I know some of you might be saying, well, the second movie made a lot of money. It made more than it cost to make it. They made their money back. Well, yeah, that might be true, but I know with me at least, I see, how can I put this? I know that I at least, see, how do I want to put this? In my opinion, there we go. In my opinion, A movie can make its money, double, triple what it would cost to make it, make its money back and more, and the movie can still suck. Why people go see it if the movie sucks, I don't know. Maybe because their favorite actor, like The Rock or whatever, is in it. And that could be the sole reason why they go to the movie. This is my personal opinion, a movie can make its money and more and can still ultimately and really suck. Just sucky suck. And that's what G.I. Joe Retaliation did. G.I. Joe number 2, that's what it did for me. They had, like I said, and like I tried to explain, they took half the actors and half of the people, half the storyline that was in G.I. Joe 1, which was a good movie. I know a lot of males out there don't like Channing Tatum as an actor for whatever reason. But I thought Channing Tatum and Marlon Wayans and everyone else in the first movie did an awesome job. Even Brendan Fraser's little cameo. I thought everyone did an awesome job in 1, and they just took half the actors and half of what happened in the first movie and tossed it out the window for the second one. And more than one movie's done that. One I will be talking about here in a minute. Another one I will be talking about here in a minute. But they just did that, and I hate it when they do that. It's annoying when they do that, and a movie becomes really, really bad for me when they do that. And that's what happened in G.I. Joe Retaliation. It just, because of that, and because of the repetitive movies that The Rock have been in, not repetitive movies, but the numerous movies that The Rock have been in, and then they slap him in G.I. Joe, that those were just, they were honestly the main things that ruined the movies for me. And I at least know a few other people that have agreed with me somewhat on this, but like I said, this is just what ruined the movie for me. It was. Now, like I said, sorry, give me a minute. Like I said, that's what ruined that movie for me. And I think I've gotten my point across of why that movie was ruined for me. With that being said, I want to talk about the other movie that I briefly mentioned when I was talking about that was ruined also because they tossed that story out of the first one out the window. And yes, I am going to be talking about Ghost Rider number 2. Why did I not like Ghost Rider, the second one? Well, it was because I said, they took half of what happened in the first Ghost Rider movie and they tossed it out the window. One prime example, for those of you who have watched Ghost Rider 2, and sorry, spoiler alert for those of you who haven't watched Ghost Rider 2, is at the beginning of the movie they show, how he became the Rider. And how they showed he became the Rider in the second movie is completely different. Sorry, I was trying to think of a word to use. It's completely flipping different from how he actually became the Rider in the first movie. And like I said, I was like, and I know some people might be thinking, well, that's only a small thing that happened. That wasn't that bad. Well, for me, sorry, it was, and that ruined a good portion of the movie for me. Yeah, I once again, spoiler alerts, so sorry for those of you who haven't seen Ghost Rider 2 yet. How they showed he, became the Rider in the second movie of how he became the Rider is they show him smashing a bottle and his hand bleeding and the blood dripping down onto the contract. And for those of you who've seen Ghost Rider 1, that's not how it happens. And what happens is that, his father dies, Satan or whoever you want to call him, comes and offers him this contract, and he pricks his finger on the pen, I think it is. And that's completely different. And what happened in what they showed how he became the Rider into is completely different from what happened in 1. And that, how do I want to put this? That helped ruin the movie for me. Another thing that ruined the movie for me was just the bad acting. I don't know how else to put it. Just the acting on that movie, all except for Nicolas Cage, who tried to do his best. Everyone, probably except for him, he at least did half decent, but everyone else in the movie, the acting sucked. It really did. The acting sucked. The script sucked. it was bad. And the movie just also the movie seemed rushed to me. It did. It seemed like they just threw whoever they could get into the movie, quicked up, wrote a script, and then just shot it. And it just seemed rushed to me. It just got whatever actor and actress they could to be in the movie, and that was it. And that just really helped the movie suck for me. It really did. Like I said, they between that and just taking half of what happened in the first movie and tossing it out the window, it just all that just made the movie really bad for me. I did not like it. I hated Ghost Rider 2 because of it. Even the actors, even the guy who played Satan or whatever you want to call him, was a completely different actor from the first one to the second one. The guy, completely different guy to play him. And even the guy who played him, I thought his acting was horrible. I can't remember the actor's name who played Satan in the second one, but even he was bad at acting. And I just wish with that movie they could have stuck with what happened in the first one. I know some of the rumors that are going around is why why the second movie was different from the first is because it was rushed, because Nicolas Cage was trying to get it out there because of some money issues he was having, because of what his promoter did. He stole his money or whatever. I'm not that familiar with the story. And like I said, it's one of the rumors going around. But for whatever reason, it happened. It just happened. And because, like I said, the movie was, to me, seemed rushed, and they took half of what happened in the first Ghost Rider movie and completely tossed it out the window when they made the second. Just with those two alone, it just made the movie suck, in my opinion. It was just bad. It really, really was. It was bad. Like I said, it was really, really bad. Like I said, between that and with G.I. Joe, Retaliation, between those two, with the way they tossed out half the actors and half of what happened in the first movie, it made this movie suck, in my opinion. It really, really did. I think I probably voiced my opinion on what I thought about those two movies. So now let's move on to my last and final movie I wanted to talk about, or rather, should I say, movie that they might be making. I'm sure for most of you gamers out there who like the Mass Effect franchise, you have heard the rumors going around about them trying to make a Mass Effect movie, and there have been a few articles up about it. I wish I could remember the article I read. The one article I did read about about them talking about making a Mass Effect movie. So I could remember the movie production company that is trying to convince BioWare to let them make the movie. But I briefly want to voice my opinion on this, on not so much how not like with the other movies I've already talked about, how I'm mad because they're making a movie. Like, I don't think they should make a movie. I think they should make the movie. I think it'll be a phenomenal movie. What I am about to talk about is how I think the movie should go if they make it. First, briefly though, like I said, I wish I could remember the article I read about it. If I find it again, I will post it in the info below. That's if I find it. But one thing I do want to mention up front that the article did talk about is that they did, I think, interview BioWare talking about making a Mass Effect movie and what their talks were with about the movie production company that did want to make it. And one of the stipulations that BioWare did say that one of the only ways that they'll let them make a Mass Effect movie is if they get the man who did the voice acting for the Elusive Man to actually be in the movie, which for all these of you who didn't know was Martin Sheen. Now from like I said, the rumors I've read and stuff, they so far have not been able to convince him to be in the movie. So, that kind of sucks. But for whatever reason, if they honestly do get, the rights to make a Mass Effect movie, Here is my thoughts or opinion actually on how it should be done. First off, for the love of God, do not, the Mass Effect franchise is a big franchise. The movie, it's between 3 different games, and each game is uber long. There's so much stuff you can do, and there'll be so much stuff to cover for it to be formed in the movie. Please do not try to cram all the stuff that has happened in the Mass Effect franchise into one 2-hour movie. So many flippin' movies have done that and have turned out horrible because of it. For example, I don't know, how about the crappy Dragon Ball Z movie they made and the last Airbender movie they tried to make? They tried to cram so much of what happened in that anime and cartoon series into one flippin' 2-hour movie. It just made the movie horrible. Not only that, but they, ignored half of what happened in the anime and cartoon series when they did the movies, but that's beside the point. They just, like I said, they tried to cram so much into those 2 movies, into 2 hours. It just made the movie bad. And if they make a Mass Effect movie, I pray they don't do that. To do the game justice, if you make it into a movie, in my opinion, they should make it like Lord of the Rings. Well, I mean, they should at least make it into a 3-part movie, and each movie should be at least 3 hours long. Or maybe even a 4-part movie, in that opinion, to cover a good basis of what happened in the games and to help make the movie good. Because if you do not cover at least half, yes, I know they're going to have to cut out some of what happened in the game to make it into a movie. Every movie does that. But sometimes when you cut out too much, that's what makes the movie bad. So to cover, like I said, a good bit of what happened in the game to put in the movie, you are at least, in my opinion, going to have to make it like Lord of the Rings. Make it at least a 3 or 4-part movie and make each movie at least 3 hours long. So if for some reason BioWare winds up watching this video, or the movie production company that I cannot remember for some reason that is trying to get the rights to make the movie, if you somehow watch this video, take my advice, make it into at least 3 or 4-part movie and make the movie long and cover as much of the game as you can. Because there's a lot of comic movies out there, and with a lot of game movies they have come out with that have done horrible in theaters. That is why. Because they've ignored half of what happened in the movie or in the game or anime or cartoon, and they just pick and they just try to cram too much into one movie. Don't do that. With that being said, here is my personal opinion, per se, on who I think would play good as some of the main characters from the game. First off, let's start with Commander Shepard. Me personally, I think it comes down to 2 actors that I think would fit the bill for him. There is a bit of an age difference from the 2, but in my opinion, I think they both make a good Commander Shepard. One being Russell Crowe. I know one of his more recent movies, Robin Hood, didn't do too good in theaters for whatever reason. I thought the movie was good personally, but I still think, nevertheless, he is a phenomenal actor, and I think he would make a good Commander Shepard. I also think, once again, to bring his name up, I think Channing Tatum would make a good Commander Shepard. I know some people right now are probably giving me the crooked eye and staring at me weird because I mentioned his name, because some of you don't like him as an actor. That's fine and dandy. Like I said, this is just my opinion. I think, personally, he would make a good, younger Commander Shepard. Also, with Ashley Williams, I think, and I hope I pronounced her name right, Nika Borina would make a good Ashley Williams. For those of you who do not know who she is, one of the more recent, well, not recent, but one of the movies she played in that might, jog your memory of who she is she was in the Hitman movie. She played the girl that Hitman was trying to protect through half the movie. my opinion alone with that movie alone, she's been in other movies since then, but with my opinion, I think she would, with just her acting in that alone, she would make a good Ashley Williams, because in her own way, she is kick butt. Sorry, try not to swear. She is kick butt, and she's a phenomenal actor. I honestly think she would make a good, Ashley Williams. Those were just, some actors and actresses I think would make, play good for the parts. So like I said, if for some reason they do make a Mass Effect movie, which if they do, it's probably at least not going to come out till 2017, because like I said, it's mostly rumors flying around at this stage, so I don't know if they're honestly going to, or if they can ever convince Martin Sheen to play the elusive man for the movie, as BioWare's one stipulation supposedly is. But if they ever do, please, if somehow BioWare or whichever movie production company is trying to take on this movie, if you've ever watched this, please take my advice. Make the movie at least four-part movie, make it like Lord of the Rings, make it like a 3 or 4-part movie. Sorry, give me a second, one more time. Thirsty. Make it at least a 3 or 4-part movie, and with each movie being at least 3 hours long. And you don't have to take my advice on the actors, but get half-decent actors to be in the movie and to play the characters the right way they're supposed to be played. And also, don't try to cram too much into one movie. Just my opinion, my advice. With that being said, that does wrap up about all I wanted to talk about this episode of the Rant Show. Real quick, the next video that is probably going to be coming up for me is my vlogs of December 2013, Still CityCon, which is going to be hosted in Monroeville. It is a local convention that is held in Monroeville, PA. It is a half-decent convention for its size. I myself will be attending, so I will be making vlogs of my time there. So I hope you enjoyed that. That will probably be my next video coming up. And like I said, I do apologize for this late video, and I promise another Rant Show will be up soon. With that being said and everything I wanted to talk about being said, that will be it for this episode of The Rant. I am your host, Artist of Anime, also known as N7Karu. This has been The Rant Show, and I will see you again next time. Alright? Much love, peace, and as always, O4L, the talker for life. Much love, guys. I'll see you next time.
Learn from Jersey boy dude. I'm gonna continue watching my anime.